Hello everyone, this is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. I hope you guys are having a great day. You might be driving to work right now, you may be at work, or you may be on your way home. The fact of the matter is you're listening to a podcast to get better. And that is what it's all about. If you want to go to the next level at your dealership, if you want to go to the next level in your income, is continually learn. And if you ran through my whole 5 seasons so far, congrats. Now start over and keep listening, because you're going to start picking up on things that you didn't hear the first time because you've reached a new level. And when you listen to the podcast for a second and third time and pick up on new things, that tells me, and should tell yourself, that I've gotten better. I'm starting to hear these intricacies that Kyle has been talking about that I didn't hear when I first started, that I didn't hear when I was new. So keep up the good work. Please share the word on the podcast. The only way this podcast grows and for me to achieve my goals of visiting every major dealership in the U.S. is if you guys share and you guys support the podcast. Poor2Pro is only as good as its listeners and the people that share it. So please do what you can to share the podcast. Find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, find me on TikTok, and follow me. I love chatting with you guys when you guys send me messages or kind, supportive words. Thank you very much. So this is Season 5, Episode 3. We're going to be talking about the persistent car salesperson. Persistent salespeople don't give up. They never give up, especially if they get told no, once or twice. They keep going until they achieve their goals. The top salespeople are the ones that never stop going. They never stop trying. And whether the economy's good or the economy's bad, they're going to reach their goals. There's success in any economy if you're the right type of salesperson. And persistence is one of the key factors in becoming a sales titan. Persistence is one of the factors to selling 15, 20 plus cars a month. You can't ever give up. No matter if it's adversity or rejection, the salesperson that has persistence is always striving to achieve their goals. If your goal this month is 15 and you've had a rough start, be persistent. Be persistent in the fact that, okay, I have X amount of days left in the month to hit my goal. I'm not giving up. I'm not lowering my standards. I will hit my goal of 15 or 10 or 12, whatever your goal is. Be persistent on hitting it, no matter what you have to do. And don't blame anything but yourself. Salespeople can find ways to blame anything because we're master salespeople. Oh, it's the economy. Oh, we don't have the right inventory. Our website sucks. My manager sucks. I don't have the right support staff. You can blame anybody, right? That for your fails and success. But when you have a salesman of the month type of month and you made 20 grand, you don't point the fingers at anybody else. You point them at you. You take credit for your successes and you like to point the fingers in your failures. These are the things that you have to get good at. You have to learn to deal with, and being persistent is one of them. Let's talk about being persistent a little bit more. What about resilience? They bounce back from setbacks quickly. If they lose a sale, they don't let their month get ruined. They don't let their day get ruined, right? A salesperson that is persistent may have a customer in the beginning of the day, on a Monday, beginning of their week, that totally fries them, right? They have bad credit, but they said they had good credit. They had said they had positive equity in their trade, but they were actually buried 10 grand. And that bad customer that even had attitude and you can't get me approved, I got a better deal over here. All these things the customer says, we have to be resilient. Now, if you make that deal, great. Still might fry you if you made the deal on a customer that's totally rude and just ruin your day. But especially if you didn't make the deal and they wasted half your day on a Monday, the first start of your week, don't let that affect you. Move on. Water off a duck's back. Let it roll off your shoulder. Slip that punch. Okay, so you got to have resilience. You might get turned down from the bank manager. He said that you're not doing it right. Customer said that you're the worst salesperson ever, or you were rude or whatever, and you're just trying to do your best, and these things are hitting you left and right. But you got to be resilient. You got to be tough. You got to have that layer of armor. A persistent salesperson gets good at being resilient also. All right, let's talk about being proactive. Persistent salespeople are always looking for new opportunities because a persistent salesperson knows that if I continue to do the same things I'm doing every day, then I'm going to get the same results. So you have to look out for new opportunities, new ways to connect with people. I always tell my salespeople this. If you go out in the public, wear something from the dealership. I get more attention, me personally, when I wear one of my Alfa Romeo shirts to an event or to the gym or to something in public, I always get stopped about the Alfa Romeo shirt. When I wear a Maserati shirt, I get stopped on that. Oh, you have a Maserati? Yeah, I got like 30 of them. You do? Well, yeah, I work at a dealership. I make something funny and they laugh and I give them my card. These are all the things that a salesperson has to do, is be proactive, always look for the next opportunity. Just this last Saturday during the sales meeting, when I was going over all the stuff to get the guys pumped, to go over logistics, I told all my sales staff, after the sales meeting, I want you to go meet somebody new that you've never met before and give them your card. Strike up a conversation. There's a coffee shop across the street. There's a little drive-through beverage shack across the street. There's lots of different places to meet people. I challenge you salespeople, you listeners, today at the dealership, go out of your way, wear something that shows where you work or the brand you sell, and meet somebody new. If you can get good at this every single day and look for these new opportunities, I promise you, you will only sell more cars by going out and meeting new people, passing out your cards, and being energetic. You love your job, right? Whether you do or not, tell yourself, I love my job. I love selling cars. I'm going to be proactive in meeting new people and getting new opportunities. Be proactive. Persistent salespeople are always proactive. Okay, being a good listener is always one of these things that you have to be, especially if you're a persistent salesperson. Okay, being persistent is also being a good listener. A good listener is someone that can listen way more than they can talk. This is kind of car sales 101, right? You ask questions and you let the customer talk. Because through the customer talking, you're going to learn their buying buttons. You're going to build a case file to close them later. They're going to tell you all the things they didn't like about the previous dealership they went to that you can avoid, the traps you can avoid that push their wrong buttons, and you can start learning what the hot buttons to push that are the right buttons. So be a good listener. Listen to what they're saying truly, and then address them with your products and services. Be a solution to their wants and needs. Be a solution to their problems. I'm not here just to sell you a car, folks. I'm here to solve a problem. You're saying you need a truck to pull your trailer? Let me solve that problem. Let's go through my inventory and let me do the best I can to serve your needs. Let me just see what I got and go from there. If you build the right rapport, you can start saying stuff like that. And if you're compelling enough, you can really say anything. You also have to be adaptable. You got to be a salesperson that can adapt to the changes and needs of a customer and be able to adapt to the environment that you're in. Some salespeople go from selling, I know a guy that went from selling Dodges to Mercedes. Trust me, that guy has to adapt. Shout out to David. He went from selling Dodges and Mopars to now selling Mercedes. Do you think that guy's going to have to adapt? Absolutely. He has a whole different customer base, a whole different way of selling cars. So whether you're moving dealerships or you're new to a dealership or you just need to get better at what you're selling, be persistent in being adaptable to your customers. There's a new generation coming up. They're buying different things. They shop online more. They like to do more of the buying process online. It's our job to be compelling enough to get them in, because you can't buy every car online. I get some hate out there from people, especially on my TikTok account. Dealerships will be gone in 6 months. Dealerships will be gone in the future. I can't wait for dealerships to be gone. Are you guys kidding me? You want to deal with the factories directly? Why don't you look at Tesla's customer service before you start saying dealerships need to go bye-bye? What happens when you need to Bluetooth your phone because you can't figure it out because the system's so complicated? You don't want a dealership to be there? These people out there always give me hate, and I take it with a grain of salt. I'm resilient to these hate comments, but we need to be adaptable to the new buyer, and we have to be able to get them in. All right. Being persistent also means building relationships. Persistent salespeople understand that strong relationships often lead to sales. So take some time to actually build a relationship. I have a customer, I won't name his name, but I'll send him a picture of a car every once in a while. He's a very high-end customer, and I can call him my friend now. He got to the point now where he gave me his code to go to his country club whenever I want with my wife to have dinner. What kind of customer does that? That's a customer that loves you. I redeemed it one time. I told him, hey, my anniversary's up. I want to take you up on that offer. He's like, done. Go to the restaurant, give him my code, and if they need to call me, have them call me. So we go to the restaurant. I sit down. We're ordering. I said, hey, this person gave me their code to use, and they're like, he did? I'm like, yeah. He said to call him if you need to verify anything. And so she calls him right in front of me. They obviously know the guy because he's a zillionaire. And she had him on the phone. And she goes, hey, Mr. Da-da-da. We have a Kyle and Candle here, and they're having dinner for their anniversary. And I hear him say over the phone in a loud voice, but a nice voice, whatever they want, get it for them. And I'm like, wow, that's my customer. He bought a Maserati from me. That's how good of a relationship I was able to build with them. So persistent people know how to build relationships. That same guy, and that was a couple years ago, that same guy just brought me 4 symphony tickets to a concert coming up that's very high-end concert at a very nice venue. And he's like, here, Kyle, I know you guys like music. My daughters play violin and cello. I play guitar. My wife loves to sing. We're just a musical family. And I didn't even ask for him. He just brought them to me. So building relationships is a good thing. Now, I'm not trying to brag about me. I'm trying to brag about how awesome a customer he is. I'm giving all credit to him. Okay, I just served him really well at the dealership, and I did a really good job. But I didn't tell him, hey, can I borrow your code? He brought that up. Hey, can you bring me tickets? No, I'm giving that credit to him. What a generous customer to go out of his way to give some love to a car salesperson. I haven't sold him a car in 5 years since I've been a manager for 5.5 years now, sales manager, but he still loves stopping by. And I just sent him a picture of a new Maserati that came in. He goes, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Shows up in his convertible with his wife and takes a look at it. And now they're considering doing this. So be persistent in keeping good relationships with your customers. Be persistent in building relationships. I talked about this in my last episode, talking about being knowledgeable. I'm going to always bring product knowledge up because that is the root of your career. That is the staple of your career, being knowledgeable. There are salespeople out there that aren't very knowledgeable and sell a ton of cars. But guess what? They're always going to be salespeople. They're never going to move up to that prestigious title. And there's going to be some variance. You might be listening and say, wait a second, I'm not that great with product and I moved up. You probably are great with product. You just don't realize it because there's a guy that might be a little bit smarter than you at the dealership that hasn't moved up yet. But if you've moved up in the dealership, give yourself some credit. Don't say you're not good with product. You probably are good with product. So if you have moved up, you are good with product. Okay, but product is the root. It's the basis of having a good career. When I was talking about David, who went from Mopar, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram to Mercedes, I guarantee you that guy had to get certified, and I guarantee you that guy studies every single day and trying to find his way in the product knowledge to become a sales titan. So be persistent in getting knowledgeable. That gives you that confidence to convince, and convincing makes sales. Okay, tenacity, being tenacious. Despite multiple rejections, a salesperson will keep pushing for the yes. Remember, if a customer says no, all that means is not right now. And not right now means you haven't said the right things to flush out the objection to overcome it. If a customer wants to leave because we want to think about it and we'll see in the morning, they've said no to your deal. They just said it in a way that they can leave without confrontation. It's our job to be persistent and tenacious to get those objections flushed. I closed a deal a couple days ago for a salesperson on a TRX, a pre-owned TRX that's $102,000. Out the door was $112,000. The customer said, hey, Mr. Salesperson, the deal's great. We just want a night to think about it. We'll come back with our checkbook in the morning. And I told the salesperson, do you believe them? He's like, yeah, these are good people. I said, nope. Let me go talk with them. I went out and talked with them, and I flushed out the objection. They want to buy the truck, but the deal just wasn't good enough for them. So I said, hey, I know you mentioned you talking about having a tonneau cover. I know you said you had a hard tonneau cover on your truck. And this is the exact thing I told them. I said, the only leverage I have to close this deal today is if I throw in a tonneau cover. How about this? We shake hands on the deal right now and you get a tonneau cover if you do the deal right now. Guess what the guy did? He shook my hand and wrote a check, and guess what? He had the checkbook on him. He wrote a check for $112,000. I just needed to throw in a hard tonneau cover. How much is that product? $600 to $800, and we made the deal. But the real objection was the guy just wanted to feel like he won something, and at the original deal, he wasn't winning. My salesperson did a great job. He did an awesome walk around, an awesome test drive, but the last thing up for bid was getting that last objection out of him, which I was able to flush out in a couple minutes. Focus. We talked about this too in one of my TikTok videos. Staying focused is a discipline. Be focused. A persistent salesperson stays focused all day, no matter the distraction, no matter the football game, the basketball game, the UFC fight, the boxing match. They stay focused all day because that is their goal to sell a car that day. So they stay focused. You got to stay focused all day. That is more of a discipline. It is being persistent, but I think it's a discipline. Being disciplined to stay focused all day. Try it out. Don't zone out for an hour upstairs on TikTok. Don't disappear for 20 minutes trying to take a nap somewhere. Be persistent to work your whole shift. All right, let's move on. Excellent communication skills. A persistent salesperson has learned how to communicate effectively. Not just communicate and build a friend, but effectively communicate. Push that deal forward. Move the deal one step closer to the actual sale. If you're in a test drive, good communication, good mini closes can get a customer to inside to work numbers. And when you're inside working numbers, an effective communicator can move that deal to getting credit, getting the rate, getting the application, right? And then one step closer to the sale, and you got a deal. So you got to get really good at communication skills. Not only can they communicate effectively, but a good salesperson, a persistent salesperson, can convince prospects of the benefits or products and services that they offer. So be persistent in all these categories. And remember this, persistence isn't pushy. If you've made it this far in the episode, persistence isn't pushy. Persistence is getting that customer farther than they think they're going to be able to go at a dealership. Being persistent is overcoming the customer's nervousness and their objections. Being persistent is not pushy, rude. Well, if you're not going to buy, what did you come in for? We're not talking about that. We're talking about being persistent in being able to push these people through the steps without sounding pushy, by being convincing, by knowing your product, and being a good communicator. So remember, this is episode 3 of season 5. Be persistent. Go back and start listening to the podcast again and pick up those intricacies that you didn't hear the first time around, because you've gotten better. If you hear something new, that means you've gotten better. Also, thank you guys for ordering my workbook, Poor2Pro Daily Workbook. Remember, this is not just a book to track. I've had some comments, this is a tracking book. No, it's a push you to the next level book. If you see it as a tracking book, then you're missing the boat. You're saying, oh, I took an up today. Let me jot it down. No, it's can I get 7 ups? Body shop, service department, gas station, fresh up on the lot, get an appointment in. These are all the things the book pushes you to do. So pick up that Poor2Pro Daily Workbook or the Poor2Pro Titan Edition Workbook. They're on Amazon, $14.99 or $19.99. Also sold as gold on there. I appreciate your guys' support. I am trying to do my best to provide car sales training that your dealerships are not. So many salespeople have reached out to me and said, I have gotten no training for my dealership. Shame on that dealership. But that's why I'm here to help you guys. That's why Pour2Pro was invented 3 years ago in November. My first episode was in November. I'm doing it for you guys, and I'm doing it to leave a legacy behind for the next generation of car salespeople, the next generation of managers, the next generation of finance guys, the next generation of GMs, and the next generation of owners. I cannot wait until I hear a salesperson say, I'm an owner of a dealership and I started listening to your podcast early in my career. It's going to happen one day, and I cannot wait to meet these people. Thank you for booking the one-on-ones. If you want to book a one-on-one, message me. They're only $149 USD. I don't care where you live in the world. I've done podcasts around the world now and one-on-one trainings around the world. Thank you guys. I appreciate your support. Kyle Galas signing out.